Originally, a naked bike would have been a sports bike with the fairing removed, the wiring tidied up to show off the engine, and a few tweaks like flatter handlebars to make the riding position less aggressive. These days, nakeds are designed that way from the factory. They also quite often feature a detuned engine from previous generation range-topping sports bike, tweaked for lots of power lower down the range at the expense of top-end power. Top speed is usually limited by the ability to hang onto the bike against the wind rather than peak power. In the grand scheme of things, they are one of the most popular classes of bikes on the road and tend to be used for short blasts at the weekend rather than longer trips. There are so many great high-performance naked bikes currently out there, so it makes it quite difficult to come up with a list of the best ones out there. As such, there was no room for slightly tamer, more affordable options such as the Kawasaki Z1000, Honda CB1000R, and Suzuki's GSX S1000. Don't get me wrong, these are all amazing super naked motorcycles, but it just didn't make the cut to the top 5. So let's take a look at the ones that actually made it. The KTM Super Duke was launched in 2013 with a then class-leading 160 horsepower and equally pioneering electronic rider rates that lived up to its billing as the most potent naked then available. Things stepped up further when the even more powerful 177 horsepower Super Duke R, complete with updated styling and suspension and crucial electronics, came out. The result was not only electrifyingly fast on the track, but also impressively docile and refined at normal speeds too. For 2022, the KTM 1290 Super Duke R has been improved yet again, but not with more power, which might actually be a mistake considering how some of its rivals have moved on, but instead improved refinement and manners. It's now a more rounded machine than ever and just as potent, but in the ranking it suffers slightly by simply not standing out quite as much as it could have, and also from the repeated criticisms of reliability. We also have the 1290 Super Duke R Evo, which comes with trick WP suspension that doesn't entirely tame the beast but lets the rider know who's the boss. Aprilia's naked version of the mighty RS V4 superbike has been impressive with both its performance and class-leading electronics for almost a decade now, and it's regarded as the best of all super nakeds. Updated to 175 horsepower 1100cc form in 2015 and updated 3 times since, the Tuono is offered in the base RR and full blink factory version and has remained arguably the best real-world performance bike you can buy. Even though it's aging against newer opposition, even with the latest updates that brought tweaked styling, Euro 5 compatibility and tasty tech trickling down from its MotoGP efforts. The latest factory version is not only powerful and grunty but also has semi-active suspension and class-leading electronics. The Ducati Streetfighter V4 is one of the most eagerly anticipated motorcycles of the last couple of years. The naked version of the Ducati Panigale V4 sports bike has a mind-boggling 205 horsepower, a fabulous chassis, and yet thanks to a slightly extended swing arm, it's impressively stable, roomy and practical too. In fact, dynamically it's probably most extreme and yet also calm and cultured when you want to be super naked around. However, on the downside, Ducati or no, surely no one brought up on the 851s and the 916s think this is the most beautiful Ducati ever built, and despite all its brilliance, it's rather expensive too. If you want your nakeds more cling to the handlebar and just can't resist the zing of a supercharger, then the Kawasaki ZH2 is a terrific purchase. In your face, aggressive and loud in the same way the Ducati is chiseled, refined and poised, while you're unlikely to sway away anyone towards ZH2 if their heart is set on a Streetfighter V4S. Spend a bit of time on the Kawasaki and I can guarantee it will at least leave a very favorable impression. At its heart is its supercharged party piece, the Revy 197 horsepower ZH2, proving a worthy sibling to the ballistic H2 fully fared sports bike. Indeed, it certainly delivers when you unleash its full potential. The Kawasaki ZH2 is blisteringly fast with all the whistling blower drive and chirpy overrun that goes with it. And if that's what you want from your hyper-naked motorcycle, trust me, you'll not be disappointed with the ZH2. It is excellent value, so while it might be the wild child turning up to a dinner party with a six-pack of beer, while you may think you crave sophistication, you know you'll end up having plenty of honest fun on the Kawasaki and pocketing some spare cash. When the Austrians evolved the 1200 Super Duke R into the R Evo, Triumph simply took a hefty sniff, cleared its throat and announced the 2022 Triumph Speed Triple 1200 RR. The RR does not just evolve the Speed Triple formula beyond the now base model RS, it brings it up to a whole new level of performance. Still powered by an inline 3, displacement is up to 1160cc, giving it a hell lot of more power at 180 horsepower. This is impressive as the increased displacement means more metal, yet like the Austrians, Triumph has a new type of alloy steel used for the engine that is lighter without sacrificing strength. The other major update, and the only part that might be contentious, is calling the Speed Triple 1200 RR a naked, as there is now a cafe racer-esque front cowl over the instrument panel. This does help with some aerodynamics as well as lifting the top speed a couple of notch, but it is still a brute that will go toe-to-toe with any other naked in this class with its sleeves rolled up. In all honesty, any of the top 5 could line up differently depending on what you prioritize most in a motorcycle, whether it's the Ducati Streetfighter V4's engineering prowess, or the Aprilia Tuono's sporting attitude, or the fun of a supercharged engine in the Kawasaki ZH2. Which of these would you put your money on if you're in the market for a hyper-naked motorcycle? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, then smash that like button, and if you'd like to catch more motorcycle news and content, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one.